Good day. We are live finally. Hey, everyone. Hope you are hear me well. Welcome you all to our open webinar from Mathshub International School of Data Science and Programming. Please type into chat that you hear me, that you see me. I see that some people are already waiting for us. Thank you so much for waiting. Thank you for trust and for your interest. So now I'm going to check if we are live. Let's check if everything's fine. Please type in the chat that you hear me, that you see my screen, and then that when we start. Yeah, I see some emojis. Lovely, lovely. Hey everyone, good evening. Hi, whenever you are. Hi. Again, good evening, everyone. Good day. I don't know where you're from right now, but welcome. Huge welcome from us, from our International School of Data Science and Programming, Mathshub. Today, we're going to talk about how to secure your data job offer in big tech. I hope all of you are interested in this topic, but if you're not, I'm sure that we are going to talk about very interesting, useful stuff. Hi, I see the comments. Thank you for your activity. Perfect. Yeah, I think that everything is totally fine. Perfect. So before we start, I would love to introduce ourselves. So welcome again to our webinar. Mathshub, as I told you, is International Data Science and Programming School, and I'm proud to say that over 3 years we have taught and graduated about 20,000 students, and some of them are already working in big tech companies, and some of them are just they are confident in their knowledge of some basics in programming, or they're starting to find their job. They're sending their resumes or their CVs to some big tech companies. So I am very proud of our students and of our team. So I hope you will have great experience with this webinar. So let me check if everything's fine. I see that people are watching us. So hi everyone. I'm going to repeat some of our introductions. So hi again, my name is Diana. I'm going to share some agenda with you. So first of all, I'm going to tell you just a bit about our school, Mathshub. Then our CEO and AI entrepreneur Ira Mangush is going to tell you how to secure your data job offer in big tech, what is the process behind the scene, what is this, why should we even choose working in big tech companies, or maybe we shouldn't. So this is our main topic, and again I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you about the program that we are enrolling in the end of this months. So yeah, please stay tuned, and after it, of course, we're going to have some time for questions, and we're going to answer them. Before we start, I would love to tell you that our webinar is going to be held within 1.5 hours approximately. Ira is going to be talking for 40 minutes. Also, please don't hesitate to ask any of your questions. I want this webinar to be very useful for you, so all of the questions are welcome. Also, I wanted to notify that there's going to be a slide broadcast because we're live streaming on YouTube, so it's about 30 seconds, but don't be shy. Still don't hesitate to ask any questions because we will do our best to answer them. And if you want to get a recorded webinar, we are going to share some link with you and you can just get this recording. All of you can get the recording. Another thing that I wanted to share with you, we do appreciate your time, and we would love to give you a small gift from us, but I believe that it's very useful. So we do know that sometimes, as you may know, that this webinar is for data scientists, for future data scientists, so maybe for those who are still not clear who data scientists are. So we are going to give every viewer who watched this webinar the hand-on guide about becoming data scientists, what are the required skills, what are the salaries, and maybe you need some important resources for that. So this guide is totally for you. You're gonna have it. Also, for those who will finish, those who keep watching our webinar, we're going to share our discount code for 40% for our program that we are enrolling by the end of this month. let us continue. So as I told you before, and I wanted to repeat myself, we are in Mathshub enrolling our new program at the end of the October, at the October 30th, not at the Halloween, right? So this webinar, it is focused for data scientists, but if you're not data scientist and you want to know how to work in big tech companies, and maybe you just want to know anything about IT, you're hugely welcome. Please ask your questions. We would love to help you out. And I would love to introduce myself. My name is Diana, as I told you before. I'm Chief Product Officer at Mathshub. I'm the one who creates programs for our students, for our clients, with our amazing team. Yes, I have experience in marketing mostly. Yeah, but I used to work in TikTok as a growth partnership manager, and I used to be business development manager and Meta partners. But I want to be honest with you. My career in IT wasn't that simple. I was the one who had no idea about IT at all. Even though I graduated from university, I had no idea what to do. And as step by step, as life shows, everything is possible if you just want to get the info. So if you want to learn more and if you are asking questions, right? So that's why I want to congratulate all of you who came here to the webinar, who are going to ask your questions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So please ask your questions. If you don't know who you want to be, and if you're not sure about your career path, still welcome. Big tech companies are still very interesting for everyone. So I hope that this webinar is going to be very interesting and helpful for you. Again, I introduced myself, and again, nice to meet you, all of you. Could you please? I just want to know you a bit more. Could you please type into the chat? Please tell us your name and where you're from. I just want to know where are our audience from. I am originally from Kazakhstan, and now I live in Cyprus, close to Europe. Now I'm going to wait for your responses. Please type in the chat, what is your name and where are you from? I just love to know you a bit more. I don't have a lot of questions, don't be shocked, just 3 of them. I just would love to know our audience a bit more. So we are going to wait a little bit. And I believe we have people from everywhere, so don't hesitate to share your name and your residence, where you're from. I'm going to wait a little bit. While I'm waiting for your responses, I just wanted to share that our students also are from different regions, different parts of the world. Some of them are from Europe, some of them live in Mexico, some of them are from the States, and it actually surprised me, to be honest, of how many people are looking for new job offers, of how many people are a bit cautious or anxious of finding a new job, of even starting a new career path. So I am very, very proud of all of you who came here. Now I'm still waiting for your responses. Don't be shy. Just please tell us your name and where you're from. Okay. I'm gonna wait a bit more. Okay, while you're typing, I have another question. Don't hesitate to type it, because we don't have there's not a huge crowd here, so we can just secretly talk to each other. Okay, let me show you another question. I just would love to know your current profession, and is it related to IT? This is my second question. I'm gonna wait for 2 responses, the responses of our 2 questions. Amair Nasim, hi, welcome to the webinar. Karim, welcome. Yeah, please tell us where you're from and what is your profession. Do you work in big tech maybe or not? Okay, I believe that because of the delay, I don't see enough responses. Oh, I see one of them. Hi, Elena. Elena is from Baku. Beautiful, Elena. Welcome to the webinar. Elena, could you please tell us your profession? Is it related to IT or not? Others, please welcome. If you want to share your name or if you want to share anything with us, feel free. Maybe you want to know about the topic or about the big tech companies, feel free to share. And I have the last question for you guys. Pardon. I see another answer. Beautiful. Hello, I am Asma from Morocco. I'm a machine learning developer at a deep learning startup. Asma, welcome, huge welcome to our webinar. I'm very happy to hear that you know about machine learning. It's always nice to meet very, very smart people. So yeah, thank you for your answers. Welcome to the webinar, and I have the last question. As you started to respond, could you please tell us what do you want to get from this webinar? What is your goal? What is your question? We want to make this webinar very useful for all of you. And if you have some questions related to the topic or maybe to our school, to our project, feel free to ask us and we will definitely answer it and we will come back to you. Yeah, Elena, Asma, Amar, please share your questions. And while you are texting, I'm going to wait a bit more. Elena says that she's a little bit in IT. She's a content manager. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Elena. Welcome to our webinar. Thank you. I'm very happy that you shared. Thank you so much. I hope that this webinar is going to be very useful for you. While you're typing, while you're responding to my questions, I just wanted to tell you a bit more about Mathshub. As I told you before, Mathshub is an international school of data science and programming. And over 3 years, we have coached about 20,000 students in our long program and our short intensive courses. We believe that the success of our students, and we are very proud of all of them, is the career support and assistance in finding work abroad. Because I think all of you know that sometimes finding a job, especially in IT, can be very challenging because there's lots of myths, lots of fears, and I don't know, some stereotypes about age, about the degree, and many more. And that's why in our program we have career support, we have our career coaches. I'm going to dive into details a bit later. Also, because Mathshub is not a huge school yet, we have personalized approach. We believe that every person has their own talents, have their own feelings and anxiety, and we know that sometimes it's very important to be supported and to motivate and to improve the talents, right? So that's why Mathshub has very personalized approach. Also, you probably heard that Mathshub has a huge community support, because we know that finding a job by ourselves can be very hard. So that's why we're building community of people who are looking for new job offers, who are trying to get a new profession. And of course, it can be very hard to do it by ourselves. I see some answers and I'm going to look at them. Asma says, I'm interested in hearing about hiring industry trends for data roles. Perfect, Asma, welcome. We're going to talk about it. Ari is going to tell you about big tech companies and what other data roles are. Hello, I'm doing PhD in computer science. Do you think this webinar might help me, or this is going to be for people with minimal experience with data science? Hi, very welcome to our webinar. I believe that this webinar is also going to be very helpful for you, because we're going to talk about big companies and how to get into these companies. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to share with us. So experience right now is not that important. And of course, I would love to come back to our school. Among our teachers and guest speakers, there's a lot of people who work in Harvard universities, who work in Tesla, in Miro, and Amazon. And I'm proud to say that they're not only IT specialists, but they also are licensed teachers, licensed coaches who are helping students to find their dream job. And I have to be honest with you, I just would love to share our mission. Our Mathshub mission is that we want every person to have the opportunity to get their dream job, the technical dream job, anywhere in the world with our help. And as I already told you, we have our values that we are deeply believe in. I deeply believe in it. Mathshub has practice-oriented lessons. I'm sure that all of you know that if you have, if you ever went to school, you probably always ask yourself a question like, is it going to be useful for me or not? How am I going to use this knowledge in my future? So we do believe that this is very important. That's why Mathshub courses are practice-oriented. So we have live lessons where we are talking about actual trends, about relevant instruments, relevant tools so they could be useful in your actual work. Also, as I told you about our team already, just in some details, we do believe in that our team is very advanced in knowledge. They are experienced in their practice teachers. Also, as I told you before, we're building community here, where we are surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, and we are helping everyone with our team support. And of course, as I told you before, everyone needs a support. Everyone has their talents, everyone should feel their self-worth. So that's why we're building this healthy atmosphere to achieve our goals. And now, again, I thank you for your responses. I'm going to give the mic to our CEO, to Ira Mangu. She's tech and education entrepreneur. She worked in such companies as Deloitte, Meta Business Partners. She even founder of biggest data science community and mentorship project. So please welcome Ira. I'm going to come back a bit later. Thank you all for your attention and see you in a bit. Please enjoy our webinar.
Thank you, Diana, for this warm welcome. I'm really glad to meet you all in our YouTube chat. Please don't hesitate, ask all your questions. So today we're going to talk about how to secure a data job offer from big tech companies. So here on the slide, you can see all the logos for bigger companies. I saw the questions from the PhD level people asking about if this presentation will be useful to them. And I believe so. I believe that if you're targeting into high-level companies and being more competitive on the job market, then this presentation is definitely for you. And still, it's a very broad level presentation because I'm aiming to inspire all of you. And we really think that we should start from zero, like for people out there watching us without any relevant technical experience and dreaming about to get that job, or having some of the jobs which are really close to technical jobs or software development jobs. This presentation can be useful as well. So I'm gonna start with a small intro about myself. So I was born in Siberia, in a small place with very traditional people, and I was a part of a small ethnicity, very far away from big cities, and I never knew that I would be one day a CEO and founder of a company which is helping other people to get their really nice data and software engineering jobs. And I was a small girl who never dreamt of having high salary and being able to talk to other peers about how to get a job in a very nice competitive company, like top tier companies in the world. So here I am. And despite of coming from a very rural background, and I think we were trying to make our audience for this presentation very vibrant from different places. I am sure that this is very common to meet in most of the parts of the world where we're not focusing on big cities, and I'm very excited to inspire you to look into the whole process of getting a really nice job in big tech. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm a tech and education entrepreneur for the last 5 years. Prior to that, I had an experience within the employment of startups and big companies like Deloitte, Meta Business Partner. This is a circle of Meta companies, then Mail.ru Group and others. I'm a founder of the biggest data science mentorship project for AI community, which is called Singularis.ai. I'm a speaker and mentor for women in tech and ladies in tech and AI in Europe, and I'm a founder of Mathshub. And today we're going to talk about the big tech. What is that, and why we choose big tech, and why we shouldn't choose it. We're going through all the salaries and statistics, which is really interesting to look at, because we will see that the highest salaries are really in big tech, and we will understand why they are so high. We will talk about some examples of data projects in big tech, data roles, and then we'll go through hands-on advice for the interview process, really nice in the end. I will try go through the chat after all the presentation chapters, but in the end, you will be able to hear our addressing to all of your questions in the end. So please be welcome to my presentation, ask your questions, don't hesitate. And it's really nice to see fellow people in the chat. And even if you're really far from tech, you're still very welcome. And I think you'll be glad to hear about Mathshub. So as it was mentioned in the first slide, the big tech is a list of the biggest companies with the biggest revenue, right? But about the revenue, while it's mostly true, we should also say that tech companies are the face of the worldwide innovation. They usually concentrate a huge amount of data, like the biggest data in the world. They are responsible for very big strategic acquisitions. They have global branding. They have the better talent and robust infrastructure. That's what we're talking about. And we're interested in big tech because a lot of pros we have. So it's an opportunity for continuous learning and professional growth, which includes the culture that values communication and streamlined processes and interaction with really nice professional colleagues surrounding you, and a valuable network. Then it's a big projects with really nice results and abundant resources. And of course, lower risk intelligence compared to, for instance, startups or academia. And some people who are working in smaller companies should know that. But it also has some cons, which includes high frequency of different meetings, and it can be a bus killer, sometimes slower bureaucratic processes, some slowness and limited flexibility in team selection, and like less room for creativity, and sometimes a lot of politics. So these are cons, and let me know what you think about big tech as well in the comment, and I will look at it after. And so first, I wanted to talk about the data science career path. So you usually start with the very basic level, which is an analyst job. Here are US market salaries for data jobs. And as I mentioned, those jobs are the highest paid. So that's why you see those numbers. But we're talking about first the US market on this slide. According to Glassdoor, the best next step from analyst is become a data scientist. Of course, if you are coming from the software engineering background, there are some different roles we will talk about, like data engineering, machine learning engineering, machine learning operations, and etc. But here is the data science career path, the usual one, and I'm referring to this path because of the program we're presenting today. So from the data scientist on the middle level, you grow up as a data scientist on a senior level. Of course, your compensation grows, and because of your experience and skills are very mature, then you can then work as a lead data scientist, the one who helps other data scientists to complete their jobs and be the one who is being as a higher senior data scientist to them, but not yet a manager. And then you can turn into two different paths. First one is a strategic path where you want to be closer to the managerial center of your company. So you want to become a data science manager. Then up, you're growing as a director of data science and VP of data science. Or you can grow as a technical one. So the next one is a principal data scientist. So you keep doing data scientist job or mostly data architectural and also a bit managerial job, but working mostly with tech problems. And then you become a tech chief data scientist. This is the usual pathway for bigger companies. And we talk about data salaries in tech, which are the actually the highest. And now we look at the Europe market salaries. Here, each point represents the salary of a respondent, and you can see that there are some medians for junior, middle, and senior level data scientists. And of course, it's a little bit lower than US market salaries because all the salaries, they really depend on different factors. And one of the factors is the cost of living. And we know that in United States, the cost of living, especially in those bigger cities where the majority of big tech companies having their offices is usually very high, like a few times higher than in other places. So that's one of the reasons why the salaries are high. And also because of the salaries, the competition is usually very high as well. But we'll talk about later how to beat that competition. Last year, the data salaries by location from not only US and Europe and elsewhere had that distribution. So if you look at this slide, you will see that under the US curve, there is a blue area, and you will see that it has the highest salaries in the bigger companies. We're talking about, first of all, the FANG companies. I'm referring to these 5 companies. And for Europe, it's an orange area, and for the other part of the world, including bigger cities in Middle East, Africa, South Asia, Pacific, it's green area. So we see that elsewhere is a bit lower, but still the highest paid job in the world. So tech is a really highest paid, and there is no secret why, because all the people who are getting into those companies, getting data jobs, they're accomplishing a huge amount of work on building their skill set, on becoming a strategic workforce for the biggest companies in the world. Let's look at the statistics this year. So this year in different companies, in big companies, for junior, middle level, and senior level in Europe, you see such range of salaries. So for junior, it starts from 60K. For mid, it starts from 84K. For senior, it starts from 94 up to like 138 and 118. If you talk about bigger cities, as I mentioned, bigger cities usually have the best opportunities, so with higher salaries. And we'll talk about Berlin, Munich in Germany, Amsterdam, London, and Dublin having higher salaries, and the highest apparently in Dublin. Dublin is one of the biggest tech hubs in Europe with a lot of big tech offices. So that's why there are a lot of data points as we see, and the median is much higher than usual. And also the compensation, of course, depends on the seniority level. So you can see that. Total compensation for different European companies also varies from the name of the company and the brand. And you see that big tech companies usually, especially FANG, usually have the higher salary, but other companies are not far away from them. This presentation, by the way, is available for you. To get that, you need to fill the form, and I will ask my colleagues to send the link to that presentation, and I will check the chat later. So I want to talk about data salaries, which come with equity. So when we talk about bigger companies like Facebook, Uber, Stripe, Twitter, we know that the salaries, like base salaries, which you get each month, is not the biggest part of the compensation. When you get into the big tech company, you will get also bonuses, annual bonuses, which usually grow depending on your seniority level. And you see here on the slide that seniority levels are marked by different names. For instance, in Meta, it's E3, E4, and Stripe is L1, L2, Uber is 3, 4, 5, and etc. And even with base salary and bonus, it's not the biggest part of the compensation. The biggest part is option stocks, and how you usually get those option stocks. You need to sign an additional contract on vesting your option stocks, which means that you have to work in a company for some period of time. After that, you will get part of the stocks after accomplishing, first of all, the period of working for the company, and then doing the KPIs or like your performance goals you asked to be done by your manager. That's how it works. And now we'll see the highest numbers, of course, within the US market salaries. And it is this year. And of course, because it's 2023, also it's the fourth quarter already, so it's at the end of this year, which was really a shake for the tech community. We remember that in the beginning, like in January, there were like a lot of tech layoffs, and it's really fair to ask the question if it's now the right time to get a job in the big tech, and my answer is yes. The second part of the year is still a really good time to get a job in big tech because first of all, layoffs, they are over. You see that the latest updates through the September is very low comparing to the January, and we'll see that the layoff wave is getting down, and I think the tech market is still going to hire a lot of people as it was doing previous years. So this is the end about the salaries, and I will check the chat and I will reply to the questions if you have any. But please don't hesitate, ask questions. I know that there are a few of us, so there's a big opportunity to learn anything you want while we're here. And for those who are watching us in the recording of this presentation, you can also keep asking questions to us through the email and other means of communication. Okay, then, while I'm waiting for your questions going forward, I want to talk about some of the examples of data projects in big tech. So we'll start with recommendation systems. They are the huge part of big tech companies because usually they have big amount of people and big amount of content, and they need to organize it somehow. And to make the list of people and the list of content relevant to you, to us, and to everyone, they come up with recommendation systems. Remember those times when the Instagram was really the chronological way, and the Instagram posts were in a chronological order. And now Facebook, Twitter, and other companies, they're using a special recommendation system engines with AI in its heart. Usually it's like post and feed job suggestions and other type of different news and content feeds, like video feeds on TikTok and etc. So this is a huge part of work. Then it is a machine translation. For instance, in Google Translate, there are 133 supported languages already, and that number is growing. Of course, most of the activity is in English, but with the newest GPT-4 level models, we know that it's still a really good amount of work left for translation to local languages and making all the machine translation much better than now. Data analysis and business analytics. So providing analytical information, insights about companies, working with business metrics, doing the data analysis of the platform and market analysis is still a very huge part of a job of any analysts, including data scientists. And for the data scientists, sometimes it can be still a big part of their work. So less, I would say, less obvious types of the projects like information standardization are really great part of the work, which helps big companies to build better models. So that means that you have to work with different entities and you have to make the canonical form for different entities and special data you work with. For instance, you work with thematic taxonomy, which means that you group different meanings, different words, or any other objects into one class, and you name that class. So this is what means the creation of taxonomies and ontologies. So you work as a language scientist or specific or a scientist in a specific area for that. Then you work with knowledge graphs, especially in social nets, for classification, entity extraction, graph modeling, and graph networks with those entities. So all the social networks, they're working with the graphs for building their recommendation systems and other products they have inside a big company. And the last one is a creation, selection, modification of features. A feature is a data that is used as an input for a model to make a prediction. So it's a parameter. Creating user data as features based on activities or automatic data feature selections, modification selections, storage and revision of features is a big part of the data project. So we're going to talk about data roles, and I will look at the questions you have still. Okay, let's talk about data roles. So basically for data roles, we have 4 different main data roles. It's data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer, and data engineering. There are different roles in between of them. For instance, machine learning operations between data engineering and machine learning engineering, and it can be closer. There is a backend engineering, which can be combined with machine learning engineering. There's a question: can you suggest data science internships to gain an experience? Yes, of course. Let me come up with a checklist with all the data science internship positions after the presentation. Please fill out the form about the webinar presentation, and we will put the checklist with the data science internships as well. So basically, those data roles, they divide into two different roles. First role is a researcher role, when you do some work to understand what is going on with data, how we can use it, how we can test some of our hypotheses. And the second part is building a product out of it. For instance, data scientist is trying to understand what a user will prefer in a new product, how it makes a user happy with a product. And data engineer is finally delivering those insights into the project. That's how it works. Talking about popular frameworks, we have Scala, Spark, Pandas, Scikit-learn, JIT, Hadoop, etc. So there is a bunch of different technologies, and depending on your role, you will be working with some of them. Through the whole experience in studying our program, usually you will work with almost all of them, and it's a really great opportunity to learn from it. So yeah, here you see different technologies for different roles, and of course, if you're working with data science, data engineering, so you have to do a lot of Python code. For other areas like data engineering, you have PySpark, Scala, and all the instruments working with big data. Yeah, that's a big list of different technologies, and don't be afraid of it. It's a really nice list for you to build a really nice data science learning path, knowing all the technologies. So let's talk about interview process. Here is the overview of Apple interview process, but it is really look like the interview processes for other big tech companies. We talk about resume evaluation, a recruiter for phone screen, technical interviews, on-site interviews, and final interview, and offer negotiation. So we talk about all of them right now. So for resume, you have to build a really nice resume, and for that you have to remember 5 things. First, you have to show your relevant technical skills and align them with the job description. So if you put something which is not really relevant to job description, then highly likely your resume or CV won't be considered at all. Then you have to put the measurable achievements, so your measurable results from past roles. You have to show up your relevant learning and projects, and provide the links where possible to make the interviewer able to assess your CV properly. Then you have to demonstrate the cultural fit, especially how in a way you describe your work, and your words will be assessed as a cultural fit as well. So, and the most important part for CV and resume is applicant tracking system optimization, where that system really looks at how your resume was written, and tries to find the keywords in it. So if your CV and resume doesn't align with keywords of the job description you're applying for, then most probably it will be disqualified from other pool of candidates. So here I wanted to show you how the ATS tuned CV looks like on the left. You see that it's no graphics, standard fonts, keywords from job listing, and this is the perfect resume for ATS. And on the right, you'll see that there are a lot of irrelevant information that which will be not perceived by ATS as qualified. So I see some projects. By Asma, would you recommend being proactive and emailing recruiters, or are online application reviewed thoroughly? Yes, I would recommend be proactive and talk to recruiters, but it's also very important the way you communicate to them. So if you reach out to a recruiter, your energy and how you put the words are really valuable. So try to be respectful, try to make your messages reasonable, informative, to make sure that you're not just stealing some attention from a recruiter, but trying to respectfully communicate and remind of yourself. And being active is really, really important for job seeking, especially on the US market, because it has really high competition, and high energy is one of the biggest competitive features, competitive strong strengths you can show to your team, of course. So we talk about the next part of the interview process, which is initial conversation with the recruiter, technical screening, and on-site interview. So initial conversation is a short phone call covering your experience level and some basic communication. It will help the recruiter determine your initial qualities relevant for the job, and define the position level you're applying for. Then there are technical interviews. They're mostly focusing on algorithms and machine learning design. And there are on-site interviews. So there are, again, algorithms, machine learning design, system design, and behavioral interviews. We will talk about all of them. So for the initial conversation with the recruiter, it's really important to treat the interview as a sales pitch. So you have to come up with a really short introduction about yourself, like 2 or 3 sentences. You have to focus on your relevant experience, and you built your speech based on the narrative on the role you're applying for. So if we were talking about the starter positions, like data science entry positions, then it is, of course, individual contributor. You may ask questions, and asking the right questions is also a really good indication for you as an interested candidate. So you can ask questions like, what does the team work on, and what projects the team does, who you will be working with, and you can even ask the names or the links on LinkedIn, which is really great. And what are the expectations for the role? These are really good questions. Then you go through the this HR assessment, and if everything is all right, you start with the technical assessment. And it is really hard to be able to ace all those technical interviews. So interview preparation is really important, and I would share here that there is a platform which is called Fleet Code, and it has a lot of free assessments you can try. And even with the premium level, I think you can cover a lot of topics. So it's a platform for coding assessments, preparing for technical interviews. So it focuses on data structures and algorithms, and it's widely used for interview preparations in big tech. So it's definitely something you have to do in order to get your data science job in big tech. How it looks like. So basically it's a platform where you have a specific problem you have to solve in a certain way. And there is a window for you to code. You can pick all the programming languages which are relevant to your role and start training. And you can do that prior to your interviews and your applications. So how many problems you need to solve to to ace it. So you see here are the pictures of different people getting their jobs in big tech in FANG, and they have worked for Microsoft or Google or Amazon, and you see that those people who are doing the most of the practice, they have much higher probabilities to get a job, much higher chances. Yeah, so practice for coding is really important. Yeah, talking about topics, right now for those who start from scratch, it's not really important to remember right now what type of topics are useful, what are not. Also, you can write your email in the forum to get this presentation, and you will be able to come back when you're ready to go through all the interview processes. But here you can see that not all the topics are equally useful, and you can focus on those who are really most likely to you can meet in your interview process. So you can use that. And really important information is that usually it takes like 1.5 months of full-time preparation to be able to ace the technical interview for those who never code or do that really on the basic level. Then you have to prepare the system design. And what is a system design? System design is a process where you build an architectural model of bigger systems like the whole companies. And you call it, for instance, if you want to replicate the technical architecture of Dropbox, you say, I am designing Dropbox. I am designing Facebook Messenger, and etc. So this part is really important for you to be able to understand on the higher level, how with a helicopter view, how those companies work, and which really important technical parts it has, and how it interacts with each other, and how people who are working on those products are interacting with each other. And there is a great book which help the whole industry to build really nice system designs. It's called Designing Data Intensive Application by Martin Kleppmann. Or you can read also Working the System Design Interview link, goes through that link on the website and read more. So this is another one type of the interview you have to go through. Then it's machine learning. For machine learning, you have to build a really great foundation. And for that, there are really nice free courses you can go through, like Machine Learning on Coursera with Andrew in, Grokking the Machine Learning Design Interview, and different blog posts here in the presentation. Or you can also take a look into our presentation of data science program or on Mathshub, which has a different approach, and it's mostly designed for a very personal way of interacting with you and getting you 100 prepared for landing a really great job in data from scratch. For machine learning, there is a really nice response plan you can use. So you can pick all different questions from machine learning, and then try to reply to that when you rehearse using that response plan, which is really great. And finally, we're talking about behavioral interviews. For them, you use a STAR framework. What is that? This framework works for anyone, not only data scientists or software engineers. It works for every person who are going to get some interviews. So how does it work? The abbreviation STAR means situation, task, action, and result. So you start with a precise and eloquent description of context in a few sentence phrase. Then you do an accurate description of your role, including responsibilities and impact area. And of course, don't be shy and present your work results, which need to be in numbers. So focus on measurable results and avoid broad description of your work. And when we talk about the last part, it's really important to sell the measurable results. So here's a book, it's called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. And you see that you have to sell your motivation. Why, right? You have to describe the problem you solved and why. And after that, you have to measure your results in time-wise and financial impact. And there are two examples for that. For instance, you can say, I improved the model metrics like accuracy, precision, etc., or improved model version had a higher conversion rate, like plus 20 during A/B tests, and estimated in, for instance, X percent growth of profit. Or it can be process automation with machine learning saved about 20% of contractor time, which equals to X worker hours during 6 months with a cost of Y USD, which is really nice time-wise and financial impact. So you can use that. And this book is really great for letting you know the very smart and efficient framework for learning how to estimate your work. And there are a few popular questions. So I will go through them. First, I will reply to some questions. So Monica says, great analogy. Thank you very much. Really nice that you're listening to my presentation till the end. Bilgakak, forgive me if I'm pronouncing you not the right way, but there is a question. How would I make my PhD marketable, although I have no business experience and my PhD is not hardcore AI, is more on soft side? Any recommendations? Yeah, the recommendation on selling your PhD marketable is to go through that book, Measure What Matters. I am pretty sure that you will go through all the projects you have and you can look at it on the business side as well. Like, for instance, one of our really successful instructors on Mathshub, she used to work in academia for 10 years. And after that, she successfully started working on Microsoft, and she helped us with that presentation really well. So she was able to sell her experience as a business one because she was working with a lot of different funding for academia. She was helping with leadership for different PhD projects, and she was able to present all her work done as a really nice results, which were able to get her, if I'm not wrong, she's like E6 or E5 in Microsoft, which is a really high data science manager level. So she could do that. And she was a PhD, of course, in optical physics. Her name is Tati Gabruseva. Tati Gabruseva, I think we will go through all the questions in this webinar, and we'll try to include all of it into the Google form. Please don't hesitate, leave your contact for the presentation in Google form, and we will reach out to you with all the links. I think I will share the LinkedIn of Tati with you, and you can talk to her. Although she's very busy, and if she doesn't reply, at least we can help you with your questions. So yeah, popular questions. There are just a couple of slides left. So those questions are really helpful for you to get a job, to land a job in big tech companies. So first they ask you about the project you're proud of, the last one or the biggest one, and it's your chance to shine. So you have to write down the most relevant project for the context of the company. Then you have to choose among them, the most scalable with noticeable impact, and you have to really show your leadership. And here you have to find a very accurate wording, because you don't want to present your work as a work, others' works as your work, and you have to present your impact, but you have to present it the right way. And the wordings and the selling approach is really important on that. So the second popular question is, tell about your fails, some projects you couldn't handle, but now you would do things differently. So here, they are not looking for a scapegoat. You cannot say that that manager was wrong, and or like that colleague, she was wrong. It's all about getting to know your ability to reflection and fixing the mistakes and learn and adapt. So for that, go through that sequence of thought. You talk about mistakes also eloquently. You talk about how you fixed it, then conclusions, and what you did to make changes in the future, and how you did the future action. So here's a example. For instance, that one data scientist managed the reorganization for 20 data science labs among the world, facing the multicultural difference, which caused some frictions. So it's called the culture map by Ehrenmeyer. And she read the culture map by Ehrenmeyer and then adapted for cultural differences and needs of different teams. So this is a rough example how you can present it. And the final popular questions is conflict resolution when you did not agree with your manager or colleagues, or career expectations, career pause periods, changing companies, and etc. It is really important to have a really rehearsed answer before replying to people. So the final thing is get ready and practice. So my advice to you is dream it, plan it, and do it. And it's all possible within a really small amount of time. And when you are ready to talk to people during your interview process, get your speech ready. So write down a short story about yourself and your projects, situations you're ready to share. It's important to make it eloquent, precise, and measurable. Then find some audience. You can try a game of theater. So you can find your audience like your friend or family and present your speech, record your speech on camera and review it, and get a feedback from a career coach. And finally, practice, practice, practice. That's what we love. We love practice coding. We love practice learning, talking, presenting. Practice on real life interviews as well with less priority companies. That's what our career coaches usually tell. Practice with friends, write the feedback and fix it right away. So practice all the time. That's my final slide. And if you want to talk to me and find me on other social media or on LinkedIn, here is my direct email, my work email, and this is my site. If you're watching us from some devices, you can make a screenshot and then find it through the QR code. I'm happy to answer to all of your questions. Yeah, it's not many of us, but really nice people stayed and asked a lot of questions, and I'm sure that a lot of people will watch us afterwards, because there were like hundreds of people waiting for us. So I am sure that we will talk to them, and they will be able to ask us more questions. So thank you for the opportunity to share this really great presentation with you. I think it's very inspiring to know inside and out the whole interview process with like biggest companies, which are paying the highest jobs. And as a person who grew up in the middle of nowhere, I want to inspire you, and I want to let you know that you are able to make it as well. One of the really important things you need to remember that nobody is telling you where is your high, only you know it, and you keep going. And I'm glad to finish my presentation and transferring the slides to Diana.
Ira, thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for sharing your experience. I had a blast listening to you, and I'm sure that our audience did as well. Dear folks, if you still have any questions to Ira, please feel free to share them with us. We're going to, of course, respond to you. And as Ira told you before, we have a feedback form. If you are shy now, or maybe after watching the recording, you are going to have other questions, feel free to ask us, and we will do our best to answer them. Now I would love, as I told you, I'm excited to share our program that we are enrolling by the end of this month. This program is for future data scientists from our school. This program is for beginners, and as I told you, that there's a lot of a lot of tools, a lot of skills that are required to become data scientists, to find a job, and to also be successful and to look successful in these interviews, right? And it's very important to show your knowledge, to prove your knowledge. So that's why I'm going to tell you a bit about our studying process and how we've developed this program, how we created it. So first of all, I wanted to tell you that this program is live. We're going to gather about 10 students, and we are going to have live lessons on Zoom. Why did we choose that? You probably heard that there's different courses on the market. They're amazing, but most of them are in recording format. So that's why for people who are studying by themselves, it's pretty challenging to do that alone. And also, if someone has lots of questions and if you don't want to wait for a response of the support team, live lessons are like a lifesaver, because on our lessons you can always ask questions of your teacher. You can ask if everything is not clear, if maybe some of our students, actually, they have some stereotypes about programming. They have some fears, and it's kind of hard sometimes to find the motivation, right? So that's why our teacher can also in real time, answer any questions and explain that everything is logical, everything is possible, and programming is not that scary as it may seem. Also, these 10 people that we are going to choose, they're going to program, they're going to study how to program, they're going to study new tools. And after each lesson, after each module, we are going to have homework. This homework is going to be checked by our teachers, by our specialists, and also every student of ours is getting a feedback from the teacher, and there's going to be some advices of how to improve the task, how to improve the solution, and so much more. And also, after each part of the program, after each module, we are going to have a final project, a pet project that I already told you, that having the CV is in your CV. It's very important to have pet projects, something from on your GitHub profile that proves that you already know something, so your future employer can check your project before meeting you. In this course, we're going to have 10 modules for hard skills, and there's going to be 11th module with the career support. I wanted to mention that our career support is already saw someone here with the experience, with PhD background, but as you shared with us, that it's without no business experience, it's pretty hard to find a job, right? So that's why for our students, our career support module starts from the first day. So our career coaches are building career path, career strategy with every student individually. So that's why our coaches know about your talents, about your backgrounds, about your strengths, and about some points of improvement if you have any. And during the whole program, we're going to have some seminars about motivation, about how to create this CV, how to talk with HR, how to self-present, how to present yourself on the interview. And also, we're going to be preparing each other for the system design interviews, and so much more. About the hard skill program, of course, this program is for beginners, but if some of you are familiar with some of the basics, if some of you know some of the parts of the modules, please let us know. Maybe we can create a shorter program for you. As I already told you, for every data scientist in big tech, it's very important to know basics of Python and SQL, because all of the machine learning models, they are building on Python or R programming language. Also, we're going to dive into deep in the data structures. You probably heard that the data scientists should know mathematics and statistics, because they are making some propositions and building some hypotheses. So that's why to analyze that data and to make hypotheses, it's very important to know some math. But please don't be scared. It is not that hard, because as I told you, we're teaching from the scratch. We're teaching the beginners. Let me show you a bit more detailed program here. So as I told you before, basics of Python and basic of SQL is one of the biggest modules that we have. Also, we're going to learn how to show the data, how to show, how to process the data. Also, we're going to learn what are the important laws and statistics will be used in the tasks, or what are the required skills in mathematics that will be important for working as data scientist. Also, you probably know that data analysis is also important to build some models and to build hypotheses. So it's pretty important to know the basics of product analysis. And working with big data, we're going to learn how to use some tools like Hive, Hadoop, Spark, and Scala, as I already told you. Also, we're going to have the lead code platform to test our skills. And of course, last but not least, is the most important, not the most important, but very important, crucial important modules are machine learning and deep learning, where we are going to learn the basics of machine learning theory. We're going to build the models. We're going to create machine learning pipelines. So after the program, you are going to have about 10 pet projects, 10 projects that you could show on your GitHub, that you could show on your interviews, that you will be confident in your knowledge, or to go on to the interview and to talk with your future employer. And as I told you before, career support will be during the whole program and even 6 months after it, because after finishing the program, we're still going to help you to find a job, to motivate you with meeting people, with sending your resumes, and so much more. I wanted to tell you more about our team, about our teachers. If you have any questions right now, feel free to ask us. Feel free to share any questions with us. There are a few of us, but still we would love to talk to you and know you a bit more. So our teachers, as I told you, they are practical ML engineers, they're practical data scientists and data analysts. So, and also they are working in big companies, as Ira told you, in some companies in the States and Meta. Some of them work in Europe. And also, I'm very proud to say that all of them are licensed teachers. They are actually teaching students in higher educational universities, in the university. So that's why the information that they are giving, they're not only relevant, but also we're trying to explain this information to each student in very easy, understanding way. And we all know that everyone has their own strengths, their own fears. So that's why our teachers are very ecological, if I may say that. So they are trying their best to explain everything that they could. We have a question that where can we learn about the program? Yes, I'm going to share the link to get the consultation from our team. Thank you, Kate, for your question. Sure, and you can also ask questions to our team about the program. You can get the documentation about the program in every details. I wanted to tell you a bit more about our coaches, because I think it's pretty important to know who is going to be work with you. So so our teachers, as I told you, they're practical IT engineers, machine learning engineers. Also, our career coach is Daria. She has 13-year experience in human resources management, and her specialization is in IT and digital. I love to say that Daria is actually is the great searcher for complicated cases. So she helped find a job for X models, for bartenders, for X nurses, and now all of these people have already found their job in IT, in data science, and they're actually sending her postcards from Thailand and other places. So our career coaches are, of course, licensed, and they are very empathetic, and they know that every person have their own talent. So that's why our goal is to help you to get hard skills, help you to get the basics and get the results, so you could be confident in being a junior data science specialist. But also the career coach will help you to understand that it's not that hard to find a job. It's not that hard to find a job to you, because we all have some different stereotypes and fears. Yeah. So Daria will be one of the coaches of our group. And I wanted to tell you, so the last thing that I wanted to tell you, and I think it's very important, Mathshub has, as I already told you, Mathshub has taught over 20,000 students in just 3 years. And our students who graduated from our programs, and even though we have students who have found job without graduating, before graduation, because they have started to send in their CVs from the third month of from their studying, and they already got their job offers, and we were so surprised, we were so inspired, and we're so excited, because we believe that our program really works. And as I already shared with you the basic salaries, the average salaries for each for data scientists. So we believe that our program, we don't believe, we actually know that our program works, and we guarantee the job offer. We guarantee to all of our students who participate in our programs, who come to to our live lessons, who make homeworks, and etc. We guarantee to get the job offer. If you don't get the job offer, we are going to give your money back. So this is like investing in just in your own confidence, right? So as I told you before, our goal is to help every student to get a job offer anywhere in the world with our help. And we know that this actually works. We have students who found a job in Chanel, in some international banks, or in some medical laboratories, and so much more. So to achieve this, we do have in our career program, we have consultations with the coach. Our students have 4 consultations with coaches. It's actually included in the program. Also, we have career lectures with our students, where we're going to talk about what's going on in the market, depending on what's going on in the world, right? We're going to talk about how to create the CV, how to make self-presentation, how to send messages in LinkedIn, for example, or how to create a LinkedIn profile, and so many more. And also, all of our students are getting mentoring consultation. This means, so if you want to become a data scientist, and if you want to find a job in, I don't know, Germany, for example, we're going to find you a mentor who moved into Germany, who works as a data scientist, and who is going to talk to you how to get into the market, how to find a job, probably in Germany or somewhere else. So that's why everything I said is included in this program. So I'm going to share the link to our to get the consultation with our team. The consultation is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything. You just talk to us, talk to our team, ask you questions. We would love to know a bit more about you, and we will just tell you how we can help you to get this job offer. So our team has already sent you the link for the consultation. Please sign up for this free consultation. We would love to help you out, and would love to show you how we can make this possible. If you don't have a background, if you have a background, if you have some questions regarding the program, feel free to ask any questions. We would love to help you. Also, Kate, we're going to send you the website link as well. For now, folks, could you please, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into chat. We have like 10 minutes. We are like on time. If you have any questions to, I don't know, Ira or myself, I'm here to help you out. Also, on our website, you can meet our team. You can see the case. You can go to our I don't know, YouTube channel, just actually this consultation is free, so you can just ask your questions, to share your background and to explain what do you want to be, who do you want to become, and where do you want to work. Do you want to work in the startup? Do you want to work in a big tech? So our team is here for you. Now I'm waiting for the questions. We, as I told you before, we are the school who keeps their promises, right? And as I told you before, we are giving you the guidebook of how to become data scientist in this year. This is a hand-on guide. It's very I hope it's going to be useful for you. We're going to explain what data scientists actually do, what are the skills required, and what are the resources to learn the basics, and what books can you read for that, and so many more. So here's the QR code. Feel free to use it, and also our team has already sent you the guidebook. You can just download it for free and use it any way you want. Now I'm going to wait a little bit for your questions. If you have any, please ask us. I am very proud that so many of you actually watched the webinar till the end. You asked your questions and you spend the time for your own good, for your own development. Thank you for your questions, for your time, and for your interest. And we appreciate your trust and your interest. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. We will be happy to explain you, to tell you a bit more about the details, about the program, and so many more. I'm going to come back to the sign up link for the consultation. This consultation, as I told you, it's absolutely for free. You can also contact me on my email. I would be happy to help you out and to show you more about our program. And as I told you before, if some of you have enough experience, or some of you may be familiar with some basics, you can also check with us and we can maybe shorten the program for you, but we will see. Just let us know. I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes for your questions. Please don't hesitate to ask. Also, we are going to share the feedback link to you. Okay, we're going, any feedback will be welcome. Yeah, please share it with us. Kate, thank you so much. Absolutely enjoyed the session, very helpful. I'm very happy that this webinar was helpful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to fill in the form for the feedback and for the questions. We will text you, and if still you have a link for the consultation for free, you can just ask questions for our program. Now we have time for our questions. If you don't have any, we could finish a bit later, but still thank you all for your time, for your trust, for your questions, for joining us to this webinar. We had a blast talking to you, meeting to you. Thank you for your questions. I enjoyed it myself a lot. Yes, feel free to fill in the feedback form. We will be happy to keep in touch with you. You can follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and other links. You can find it on the YouTube channel, and we're sharing some information there about how to become IT specialist. We share some resources for free as well, and we show some trends on the market. So now, if someone hasn't asked their questions, don't hesitate, don't be shy. There is no stupid questions. We are happy to answer any questions if you have. I'm going to wait just a bit, just a couple of minutes. If you have any, you still have a chance to talk to us, to meet us, and to ask your questions. So if you don't have any questions, do you want to, I would be happy to hear your feedback regarding the webinar. Maybe you had some insights from Ira's presentation or from my presentation. Maybe you, what did you get from the webinar? If you want to share that, we will be happy to know that. If not, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your interest, and I hope we will. I hope to see some of you in our students group. So thank you for the evening, for your evening, for your time, and see you in our Mathshub community. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, and see you soon. Thank you for your time. Bye.